So picture this. I'm cruising in my brand new Tesla Model 3, living the dream on the sunny 70-degree coast of San Diego. Life's good, and then, plot twist, I moved back to Pennsylvania. And now, it's 27 degrees, my car's frozen solid, and I'm literally hiding out in my Tesla to stay warm. Classic. Now yes, I saw this move coming, and I knew
winter is coming.
But what I didn't know was just how much electric vehicles really don't like the cold. And the cold, it really doesn't like these cars either. So let's dive in and talk about the real challenges of owning a Tesla Model 3 in the winter. Now, when the first snow of the winter came, I was definitely prepared to precondition the car for the elements. What I was not prepared for was this. That's right, the handles freeze. And since they're not your basic pull it like a normal handle type of handle, they can be a real pain to get open. What I ended up doing was venting the car from my app, which opens the window slightly, and then reached in to open it from the inside. But that doesn't seem like a sustainable solution. Now, if you have a vehicle and live somewhere where it gets cold, I'm sure you have an ice scraper. But if you don't, the Tesla does a decent job at defrosting in a timely manner, though it's not instant magic. Of course, you can precondition the car before you get in it to make sure it's nice and warm and to start the defrosting process ahead of time. That is a game changer. The heated seats and heated steering wheel are super great and will turn on automatically if you have it set up that way. Just don't forget to turn them off when it's warm out. Now here's a weird one you might not think about: the cameras. All those fancy sensors, cameras, and radars that help your car see the world. Yeah, ice and snow buildup on the car can obscure those cameras, leaving you with this. Yep, you'll get this message and more importantly, less accuracy on your displays. So if you're planning on relying on autopilot or the rear view cameras, make sure you keep those cameras clear of snow and ice. Otherwise, it's like driving blindfolded, but with a nice high-tech blindfold. Okay, now this might be the most frustrating. Once you're in the car, it's defrosted, you're defrosted, and you're ready to drive. You might find yourself with this message as well. If the battery is too cold, regenerative braking, this beautiful, magical thing that makes the Tesla so smooth, just stops working. And now you're driving like it's a regular car. You're going to have to use your actual brakes, which sounds simple, but if your brain is on autopilot, literally, you'll find yourself cruising to a red light with zero slowdown. Plus, of course, because it's not functioning, it's not recharging the battery as you drive, which only compounds the challenges we're about to talk about. Battery consumption. Now, it should be no question that cold weather equals faster battery consumption. And that goes for phones, the camera, and same with electric vehicles. And that can easily turn your long range model to a standard range model, and the standard range to a Nissan Leaf. Every little function that you're using is draining that battery. Your defroster, your phone battery charger, your heated seat, your heated steering wheel. It's all eating up your battery power at the same time. For example, when defrosting this car and filming the B-roll for it, the car started out at 80% battery and then was down to 78%. And I didn't even move the car. And then I drove off to get lunch and back, which was only about an 8-mile round trip. And my percentage went down to 72%. Making this whole quick outing not really going anywhere cost me 8% of my battery. So yeah, this is a real challenge. And if that wasn't enough, charging itself, of course, is slower. My mobile connector was already slow to begin with, but in the cold, it's like watching paint dry. I've only been getting maybe 1% of charge per hour, and that's crazy. I'm really lucky that I work from home. If you commute to work every day, you should probably get the supercharger. Now, in a positive note, the car handles the elements very well, but I also picked the dual motor all-wheel drive, which is very helpful in the snow. In reality, the biggest factor to this is your tires. The car comes with standard Hankook all-season tires, which are pretty good, but what people say are winter tires on the rear-wheel drive actually perform better than the standard tires in the all-wheel drive. But this concept isn't really anything new. This applies to any type of car in the winter. The best thing to do, in my opinion, is to consider how much snow you really get in the winter. Contrary to what this video suggests, I actually live in an area that doesn't get a ton of snow each winter. But if you do live in an area where there's regularly a lot of snow, it's something to consider. Another little hack, turn on chill mode and slip start. These cut down on the instant torque, which helps prevent skidding when you're on icy roads. And let's be real, when you're trying to navigate a slippery hill, anything that helps you from becoming an accidental snowplow is a win. So am I telling you to avoid the Tesla Model 3 if you live in a cold climate? Of course not. It's true that there are challenges you will face. But out of all the electric vehicles, Tesla is the one that's going to perform the best. You have more battery consumption, but you are starting with over 300 miles. And if you're charging at home regularly, it shouldn't be a major impact. The weather is just something you're going to have to be aware of. Just like any car you would have, just maybe a little bit more in some cases. Plug it in every time you get home, precondition the car before you start it, and have the tools available for ice and you'll be fine. So if you're prepared, you're good to go. And hey, snowy days are just a temporary inconvenience. Until next time, stay warm and stay charged.